Little 6-year-old Corey Micciolo's mother, Brianna Micciolo, had him when she was just 17 years old. Corey's father, Christopher Greger, was 22 years old when he was born. Brianna raised Corey, in Stafford, New Jersey, on her own for his first 5 years. Christopher first came into Corey's life in September 2019. They then shared custody after Christopher petitioned the court for joint custody. Brianna had an ongoing struggle with an addiction to illegal substances. Because of this, she lost custody of Corey in January 2020. She was able to get sober and gained visitation rights by October 2020. In December 2020, she relapsed again, which she did not share with Christopher. She then got sober again in February 2021. It was after Corey's third visit with his father in September 2019 when Brianna first grew concerned about the safety of her son. Corey came home with a busted lip and swollen face, but neither he nor his father would say what happened. In March 2021, Brianna filed an order to show cause seeking emergency custody of Corey. This was after she was informed of an incident that happened and saw the recording. Corey and his father were at the Atlantic Heights Clubhouse Fitness Center and Christopher put his son on a treadmill. Christopher increased both the speed and incline of the treadmill, as Corey desperately tried to keep up. The first time Corey fell and slided off the machine, Christopher picks him back up and appears to bite the child's head while forcing him back onto the belt. Christopher holds his son down as he attempts to gain footing. After Corey falls again, his father finally decreases the speed and lowers the treadmill's incline. The Division of Child Protection and Permanency, DCPP, investigated her report that Christopher abused Corey by forcing him to run on a treadmill. DCPP had seen the video, and a caseworker photographed and investigated bruising on Corey 6 days after that incident. A judge did not grant Brianna's request for emergency custody of Corey. The preliminary findings submitted by DCPP about the incident played a crucial role in the judge's decision, says the ruling. The ruling notes, however, that the court does not find that Corey is in danger of imminent and irreparable harm. Therefore, the court does not find a temporary modification of the parties' custody and parenting time arrangement appropriate at this time. On April 1, 2021, Brianna had Christopher take Corey to the doctor. It was at this appointment that Corey allegedly revealed that his father forced him to exercise because he was too fat. Brianna dropped off Corey at Christopher's home as was ordered by the court, at about 9 a.m. the following day. Later that day, Christopher brought the limp body of his 6-year-old son, Corey, to an emergency room at a hospital. He then phoned Brianna to let her know. Christopher said that Corey woke up from a nap stumbling, slurring his words, and he experienced nausea and shortness of breath. Corey had a CT scan where he began having seizures. 2 hours after he arrived at the hospital, Corey lost his life. On the same day, Brianna reached out to her boyfriend via Facebook and asked for a type of illegal substance. The doctors said Corey lost his life from pneumonia. 2 days after Corey's life ended, Christopher was pulled over by police for speeding in a construction zone. In body cam footage of the interaction, Christopher can be seen blaming Brianna for his son's demise. Christopher said, "If Corey didn't have a illegal substance addict mother, then he'd still be alive. That's been going through my head this whole drive. She's a special kind of dirtbag." Brianna said she reported suspected abuse over 100 times in 18 months, but no action was taken. Brianna wants to know why it was only after her son's demise that the DCPP took her claims seriously that Corey's father was abusing him. Brianna said, "I did everything. I told them, I filmed his bruises, I recorded him telling me and my sister and my mother what his father was doing." Brianna says she believes her claims only emboldened Christopher. Brianna stated, "The more he got away with it, the worse the abuse got. And he was aware after the first time I reported it in 2019. When the investigators went through the records, there were 7 reports of abuse against Christopher, none of which were substantiated prior to Corey's demise. They also found a single report of abuse made by Christopher against Brianna, which was never substantiated by the agency. Brianna was never charged with abusing Corey. She was also immediately cooperative with police in the investigation of her son's demise. Brianna's boyfriend of several years told police he never saw her abuse Corey. A longtime family friend of the Micciolos also told police Brianna was a good mother who he never saw hit Corey, but noted Corey told him Christopher hit him. A friend of Christopher also recalled him throwing his son off a boat. After Corey's demise, Christopher left the state. When he was eventually located, He checked out of the Tennessee hotel he informed law enforcement he would be staying at without notifying officials. Christopher was arrested on July 7, 2021, on child neglect charges following an investigation into the gym footage. It wasn't until a consulting forensic pathologist reviewed the case in September 2021 that the manner of Corey's demise was determined to be a slaying. Dr. Thomas Andrew believes Corey suffered an acute traumatic injury to his heart 4 to 12 hours before his life ended. Dr. Andrew found what he described as evidence of chronic abuse, including blunt impact injuries of the chest and abdomen with laceration of the heart, left pulmonary contusion, laceration and contusion of the liver. On March 9, 2022, prosecutors formally charged Christopher with ending his son's life and ordered him to be held without bond at the Ocean County Jail. In his opening statement for Christopher's trial, Assistant Ocean County Prosecutor Jamie Schron told the court that the morning Corey's mother dropped him off at his dad's house, the 6-year-old was fine. Brianna had noticed some bruising on her son the day before. This prompted the trip to the hospital where doctors told her apart from said bruises, Corey was in good health. Christopher's lawyer was suggesting that Brianna was using illegal substances when Corey lost his life, which could be laying the groundwork for her potential negligence. Brianna confirmed she did ask her boyfriend for some, but she went on to say that she did not do illegal substances that day. In a probable cause affidavit, Brianna's mother, Rebecca, says that her daughter got pregnant after being assaulted by Christopher. They never had a relationship. Christopher's attorney, Mario Gallucci, responded to that claim in a statement saying, "Unfortunately, Ms. Micciolo's mother has a very vivid imagination. There is a reason she lost custody of Corey, and at this time I am not permitted to comment on that." The defense argument throughout the case was that Corey lost his life from sepsis caused by pneumonia and not blunt force trauma to the chest and abdomen as concluded by the Orange County Medical Examiner's Office. A jury in New Jersey found Christopher not guilty of taking Corey's life on May 31, 2024, but the jury did convict Christopher on the lesser charge of aggravated manslaughter, which carries a sentence of 10 to 30 years in prison in the state of New Jersey. Christopher shook his head in apparent disbelief and anger after hearing the verdict and later appeared to be fighting back tears while Brianna openly wept in court. Jurors also convicted Christopher of endangering the welfare of a child after viewing the video from the gym. The incident did not end Corey's life, but the prosecution argued that Christopher's overall cycle of abuse ultimately led to his son's life being lost. Assistant Ocean County Prosecutor Christine Lento argued that Christopher inflicted blunt force injuries on Corey the day of his demise as punishment after the boy's mother was 14 hours late bringing him home. Mario Gallucci, Christopher's attorney, said his client was not surprised by the verdict. He also said his client knew it was just the first step in a long battle. Gallucci confirmed that Christopher plans to appeal the jury's verdict. Christopher is scheduled to be sentenced on August 2, 2024. He is facing up to 40 years in prison. An emotional Brianna said, "We're happy with the verdict and we thank the prosecutor's office. He deserves to be in jail. He's a very bad man."